So here's the Mark IV and the Mark II shifter boxes. These two nubs are what hold that center console on in the back. Had to be lowered down an inch, so I needed to put some foam around it to seal. It's some real spongy foam, it'll compress real well. So here's the bolts get used on the back two holes, for these two back holes. These spacers here are more like 5/16, and the bolts are about 2 inches, 50 millimeters. So I had to put 1-inch spacers in there to lower this part down enough, fit, well, basically under this on the shifter. Otherwise it was sticking way up here. Things were rubbing, things weren't working right. So after I tightened those down, the back end of it was only up by about 1/4 inch. And since it isn't sitting flush up against there, I needed 2 brackets, one underneath here. And there's some 1/4 inch spacers between the shifter housing and this little bracket. So yeah, 1-inch spacers up there, about 1/4 inch spacers back here. Sits like that. And then no washers between there because that just pinches down. I'll just pinch those two together and hold that solid on the back. Alright, there was a piece of plastic right here. I had to get cut out to make room for that. Put a couple bolts in back here. Threaded those in so that's got, like the Mark II had a couple of those nubs. Hold that down. Okay, it's all in place with those two tucked in there. Maybe I should loosen them up just a little. Because right up here in the front it still hits a little bit. Right around there. I did some clearancing on that spot, but it still hits. It's not really that noticeable, but you might want to do 1.1/8 spacers up in the front. It'll push this box down 1.1/8 on the front and 1 7/16, or no, excuse me, just 7/16 on the back. Okay, so those are all tucked in right here. And I had to shorten that, or I would have ended up with a shifter that was way up here. So I shortened that down. I'm going to use that. The old Mark II shift knob or something. That fits in nice. I did put longer bushings in up front there. Just enough so the nuts would go on. It looks just like the old Mark II. Accordion shift boots are pretty cheap, easy to get. Yeah, when you do cut the hole in the firewall, there's a couple other holes right there that, well, doesn't turn out very pretty. So, I cut a piece of stainless. I'll do some JB welding. And I was holding the camera though.